What I would do differently from high school to college, if I could go back right now, knowing what I know, I would spend a lot more time practicing what I love, bass, and not really as much time focusing on small stuff that didn't really matter. As much as all of these things really had an impact on what my character is now, I realized it wasn't as important as like spending an hour or two every day practicing. It's a lot of fun and it teaches you a lot of really good things, but it's still not as important as you may think it is. You should really focus on what you want to be doing later in life, especially if you're nearing the upperclassmen like juniors and seniors, really looking into what you want to do for college. It would really help to really free up your time more because I know when I was in high school at least, I didn't have that much free time because I was just in so much stuff, so I would only have so much time to do everything. And I was really swamped a lot, and it was really stressful. Senior year was supposed to be like the most relaxed time of the year of your high school career, but it ended up being the most stressful time because of all the college auditions, all the extracurricular activities I was in, just all around how busy I was. Another thing I would recognize is that, yes, while you do have a lot of free time now, if you're not in a lot of stuff, what you do with that free time is really important. So, for example, if you want to be a jazz musician like me or Mr. Haberset or Mr. Levy, it would be really imperative that you practice what's really important, not what you think sounds good. What I recently just learned is that sounding good in the practice room is more or less a waste of time. If you practice anything that you sound good on, then it really just becomes noodling. If you practice and you sound bad, you're doing it right. If you are improving your sound and you are practicing the stuff that doesn't sound good, like how I practice major scales and that sounds out of tune all the time, I know that I'm improving every step of the way. I know that I'm making that bad sound turn into a good sound. So sounding good in the practice room isn't necessarily a bad thing. You want to sound good on stage. So practice bad things in the practice room. I would also develop a practice routine. One thing that I used to do in high school is just get in the practice room and either noodle or think I was working on something. Basically, I would work on one thing one day and then another thing the next day, when really I should be doing the fundamentals basically the entire way. So now I developed a routine where I get in the practice room, warm up for about 30 minutes with scales or metronome time, and then for an hour I would practice just scales, major scales. I'm recently learning some diminished scales, melodic minor scales, all of your scales possible. I would really practice those, get in the practice room and learn those like the back of your hand, because that's really what is important. You know, these amazing jazz musicians, they don't go into practice rooms and practice pieces that they're playing in their jazz band. They go in the practice room and they play fundamentals. They run the major scale in every single possible way they can imagine. They really focus on doing these very small things and having these fundamentals down so that when they're ready to play, they're ready to play. And yeah, there's more I want to say, but that's definitely not going to be like the take, but there's definitely more I want to say. I just can't find out what I want to say yet.